All right, here we go. Main event, UFC 298. Topuria versus Volkanovski. Missed it last night. Obviously wanted to catch up on the action. Nice high kick from Volkanovski from the get-go. It was really fun watching him this week, doing his old man Volk. I think that was a great way to add some intrigue without having to diminish who he is. I feel like a lot of fighters, I got to be the bad boy. I got to do something which is going to make me negative in the media's eyes. And that was just a great move from Volkanovski. And a lot of fun to watch. And just gave Topuria really a lose-lose situation, right? You're like, oh, like fighting this dude who's 35, who's embracing, joking about being old. If you beat him, it's like, well, yeah, there's his excuse. But if he wins, which is very likely, then he just had some fun and everybody likes him even more. I don't know that much about Topuria. I've seen a few clips. Strong fighter. I saw him defeat Bryce Mitchell and maybe Josh Emmett. I think those are the two that I've seen. But Volkanovski, different dude. Different beast. Got some good speed. Volkanovski right now. I was not a fan of the move he made last time, fighting Islam on short notice. I'm not a fan of short notice fights. I don't think it's wise to jeopardize your career, your health, by being what they call a company man and taking fights on short notice. I'm glad to see him back in, and I hope he's able to be the fighter he was before. That knockdown or knockout from Islam with the high kick didn't impair him in any way. Right now he's looking good. He's relying heavily on some Muay Thai round kicks, which is interesting. Like that lean back, throwing the lead leg, jamming Topuria, shin into the chest. It'll be interesting to see if this ends up on the ground at any point, because Topuria, as far as I know, is quite the striker. Not as much on the floor. Volkanovski, I feel like he's pretty good at all of it. Obviously his striking is very high level, but it might not be a bad game plan to try and get him down. Competitive first round. Nobody really putting too much out where they're going to be in massive danger. But we're just seeing good technique, good speed. Like the movement from Volkanovski, that little fadeaway there off the lead foot just to make the kick miss. Very nice. He's doing some stance switching. Seems like a very likable guy, and I know that's not everything that you want to look for, or not everybody else cares about in their fighters, but to me, I like it. I'm like, man, good fighter, top-notch guy, then I'm going to watch you. Nice calf kick there. Volk doing a nice job, just tipping his weight back, using the lead shoulder as a defensive tool. Looks very calm. Yeah, that footwork stuff is just throwing Topuria off just a little bit. And a couple attempts that he's had for little takedowns, Volkanovski's not even there. He just moves. First round almost done. Got 10 seconds left, and Volkanovski looks like he's returned to top-notch form. A little bit of blood trickling off Topuria's nose, maybe from one little knee in there up to head level. Don't know that for sure, I'm just speculating. I think Topuria was very, very adamant in the couple interviews that I saw that he was going to finish this fight in the first round. I always wonder when people say that, if they actually believe it or if they're just trying to create hype. I feel like it's a terrible mindset, because if it doesn't finish, have you mentally prepared to go beyond? Good cross there out of a stance switch from Volkanovski. Lots of respect now. They even touching gloves in round 2. I've watched many Volkanovski fights, but haven't rewatched them as I would some other fighters. I'm drawing a blank on whether or not he often uses this much footwork and the stance switching and such. Little stance switch there again, just it's always making your opponent think, and I like it. It's like Topuria is having a lot of trouble finding the target, hitting air most of the time. And from what I hear, Topuria hits very hard, so awesome move. Even when he does touch Volkanovski, as he did there, there's no good follow-up. I'd be so interested to find out what Volkanovski's walk-around weight is outside of fight camp, because I heard getting to the 155 on short notice was a struggle, which means you have to assume he was probably up around 170, 175, if not more, and then be able to get down to 145. Wow. I mean, I've been at 145 most of my career, and I usually walk at 155. Got my walk-around weight up about 5 more pounds just because my weight class now is 150. But when I hear people who are at my weight cutting from 180, I go, wow, that's wild. I just see Volkanovski's head size compared to his body size, and you know his body size would normally be much bigger. Good job just mixing those kicks. Just peppering away with kicks. It's not something you see a lot. I loved at the press conference, old man Volk saying he was going to give Topuria a spanking. It was just such a great way to take control, make everybody laugh. And he's not spanking him right now, but he's definitely winning the fight. And he is teaching him a bit of a lesson at this point. Of course, in a 5-round fight, that's a lot of time left over right now for things to change. Oh! He's out. Oh my gosh. Volkanovski. Now that potentially is the problem with jumping into a fight after being KO'd so recently. Were you compromised? You never really know. Could have gone out the same way, but in the back of your mind, you have to wonder, was he compromised? Oh, Volkanovski. Such an awesome dude. We gotta get a replay of that. I don't love watching knockout replays. He was looking so good. But maybe it's just this guy. I kept hearing about his power. Only need one. Let's see what happened here. All those shots missing. Right on the jaw. And he was out. Out right away. I don't tell if it was when his back was against the cage. And I had a little bit more space. Just in this guard there. I guess it works when it works. And then it doesn't. Right? In those moments. He was right in the middle of trying to throw back. I was just saying the other day in one of my seminars that in this position, you can generally keep yourself safe. Is when you throw, that you got to be really good at defense. You got to learn to throw and think about what's coming. So hard to do. Oh, wow. I feel bad for Volkanovski because I know he was saying how hard the mental part of his game is when he can't be in training camp. And now he has to stop. And he has to take a reset and let himself heal up. So let's call it there, guys. Thanks for joining me today. UFC 298. This is supposed to be a spectacular card. I've only caught a couple of the fights so far, but it's pretty awesome. So I'm looking forward to 299 and 300.